Hello and welcome to Vault Holocron. I'm Jonathan and today we will be discussing the Max Rebo Band from Return of the Jedi. In that movie we saw the Max Rebo Band in Jabba's palace, even seeing them perform their song Jedi Rocks. The band consisted of 12 members with a variety of interesting species, so today I'm going to cover the Max Rebo Band. Now I'm covering the man, the myth, the legend, Max Rebo himself. Max Rebo was an Autolan who most often played the Red Bull jet organ. As the name would suggest, Max Rebo was the leader of the Max Rebo Band, and due to this, there is a small story about him in canon. Max Rebo was born on Alto with a brother called Azul Fantel. At some point while Max Rebo was on Tatooine with his band, his brother swindled multiple people at the spaceport Mos Eisley, stealing funds. Due to this, when the people saw Max Rebo, they mistook him for Azul and chased him down. While running, Rebo bumped into two Imperial stormtroopers, but was rescued by his brother on a speeder bike. Rebo was scared as Azul had stolen funds on Jabba's territory, and therefore they would both be punished. To try to avoid this, Rebo threw the stolen funds to their pursuers. This tactic worked, with Rebo not being punished due to his brother being the criminal in the situation, and Azul, who claimed misunderstanding that he was on Jabba's territory, was only punished through being forced to be a waiter on the Ketenar. So yeah, Max Rebo is quite an interesting mini-story. Now I'm covering Snootles, a Palawick who sung for the Max Rebo Band. Snootles is more fleshed out than most members of the Max Rebo Band, appearing in a Clone Wars episode where she has a somewhat prominent role. At one point, Snootles dated Zero the Hutt, the uncle to Jabba the Hutt. However, the relationship didn't last, with Zero separating from her but promising to come back for her. Zero said that this separation was due to Jabba. Years later, Zero had been captured by the Hutts, and Snootles at that time was working for them. The Hutts wanted to take Zero out of the equation because he had stolen and hidden a holodiary of Hutt Council records. While they had Zero, Snootles reunited with her ex-lover and broke him out of prison. Together they escaped off-world with the help of Mama the Hutt, who provided them a starship off-world after some discussion. Zero took Snootles to Teth, where his father was buried, and he revealed that he had hidden the holodiary there. However, Zero had fallen into a trap, as Snootles pulled a blaster on him, revealing that she had been hired by Jabba to retrieve the holodiary and then kill him. She then returned to Jabba, where she was well rewarded for her services. Snootles remarked that no one would expect a person as lovely as her to be capable of a bounty hunter's job. And that's sort of a valid point, as the Jedi who were also tracking down Zero never found out who had killed him. Next, I'm covering Rytzyl Sant, a human-feeling hybrid who sang and danced for the Max Rebo Band. At a young age, Sant was adopted by Autolan musicians on Coruscant. From there, she attracted some attention as a dancer, but was tricked into slavery at one point by a lieutenant from the Black Sun crime syndicate. She was later freed though by Lando, and from there her parents got her into the Max Rebo Band. Now I'm covering Joh Yowza, a Yuzum who performed for the Max Rebo Band. Yowza often performed duets with Snootles. Many people didn't like his voice, and a few even wished to brutally silence him, but Jabba appeared to like his singing. After Return of the Jedi, Yowza still had a career in performance though, doing a concert on Batuu. Now I'm covering Doda Bodonawieedo, a male Rodian who has an interesting backstory. Before playing in the Max Rebo Band, Doda played at Chalam's Spaceport Cantina on Tatooine for a while, but he ended up getting fired. The Cantina then replaced him with a familiar band you may recognise, Barquin Dan and the modal nodes. If you wish to learn more about them, then we have a 1-minute short on the channel about them, which you can watch after this. Link is in the card. Anyway, as you can tell, Doda managed to find another job working with the Max Rebo Band. Next, I'm covering Barquin Dan, a BF who played the clue horn for the Max Rebo Band. Barquin Dan was actually Barquin Dan's brother, who also played the clue horn, but for his own band Barquin Dan and the modal nodes. I find it kind of funny how Doda Bodonawieedo somehow ended up in a band with the brother of his replacement. Now I'm covering Lin Me, a Twi'lek who worked as a dancer and singer for the Max Rebo Band. The style of dancing she performed was Twi'lek dance, which she knew quite well. Lin Me also has an interesting backstory, being rescued from slavery by Boba Fett. This meant that she worshipped Boba as a hero. Next I'm covering Rappertunie, a shorter ub who played the growly harmonic. His stage name was Rappertunie, which was the name he most commonly went by. Because of being a shorter ub, he could spit a paralysing poison, which he would spit at anyone who threatened him. Now I'm covering Greata Genderwainian, a Rhodian who was a singer and dancer for the Max Rebo Band. Genderwainian also has a small bit of history in canon. In 19 BBY, towards the end of the Clone Wars, she attended a Mon Calamari opera performance on Coruscant. Next, I'm covering Droopy McCool, a Kittenak who played the Chintin Kalu flute. Droopy McCool wasn't actually called Droopy McCool, but instead a series of whistles which were unpronounceable to other species. Also, as a weird bonus, his body let off a vanilla-like smell. Next, I'm covering Ak-rev. Ak-rev was a male Weequay who played the drums in the Max Rebo Band. He was also a bodyguard for Jabba. Next, I'm covering Umpass-stay. Umpass-stay was a Klatooinian who worked as a drummer and bodyguard for the Max Rebo Band. And finally, despite being on Jabba's sail barge in Return of the Jedi, the band survived the explosion. They broke up afterwards though, going their separate ways. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this dive into all 12 members of the Max Rebo Band, and we hope to see you later at Vault Holocron.